What's up, guys? Wade Willis here to break down episode 15 of Higurashi Sotsu. And guys, in this analysis video, I'm going to go into kind of my thoughts of the finale as a whole. The second part of the video is going to be me going over my feelings about Higurashi Go and Sotsu. And then the third part is going to be where I see kind of the future of When They Cry in anime adaptations. Before I go any further, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. And yeah, tons of When They Cry content on my channel, and I'm still going to continue to cover it, even though Higurashi Go and Sotsu are done. I have my Umineko playthrough, and I have some other stuff in store as well. My opinion of the finale, I was actually very content with the ending. For the finale, it really had like two different acts almost. You had the first act where you had almost like kind of the battle between Satoko, you had Hanyu and Aoiwa fighting, and that part was, I would give it like a C, personally. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I know some people really disliked it. Some of it was a bit cheesy for my taste, but I was fine with it. I've gotten far enough into Umineko to know that there is like magic and like crazy battles, and like a lot of this stuff has happened, at least to the part that I'm in Umineko. And believe me, I'm not spoiling anything, but some of these aspects are not are kind of commonplace in Umineko. So I wasn't very bothered by this in Higurashi, but I feel like that was by far the weakest part of the episode. And I felt like the second half, where we were kind of like really tying everything up with a bow, we were seeing how some of these characters who we've either like loved for 20 years, for those of you that have been into Higurashi for that long, or like me who started newer, but characters that we really cared about, or characters that grew to hate but had redemptions in Go and Sotsu. We got to see what kind of happened with them and where they are in their lives. And a lot of times in show finales, when they do this, I feel like they miss the mark. But this is one of the examples where I feel like they did a home run on this. We got to see like everyone, including Satoshi, who if you guys look back at my earlier analysis and theories videos, back to Go and stuff, I kept thinking Satoshi was going to play a major role, and obviously I was very wrong. He did not become really a part in Sotsu until a 30-second portion in in the end of the episode. So I was way off on that, and I still find it weird that he was basically not involved at all. But who am I to judge? I love that a lot of the music was from like some of the original soundtracks from Higurashi and Umineko, I believe, as well. And yeah, just overall, I had the feels, and I thought it was fantastic, the end of it. So I would give the second half of the episode, really once there's that change, honestly, I give it like a 10 out of 10. It sparked a lot of emotions in me that I did not expect in the finale. And I loved every minute once we got past the shonen stuff. And I didn't hate the first half, just didn't think it was as good as the second half. And if you would have told me last week they would have resolved the battle in the first half of the episode, and then they would have like speed run what is going on in everyone else's life, kind of, I would have told you I thought the episode would have been absolutely horrible. But I have to give them credit for somehow doing it as well as you could have done it, because I mean, with the script that they were probably given, you're a bit stuck, basically tying up the whole story in 2 episodes. And yeah, it was very difficult to do, and I feel like they did it about as good as they could have done it. because that is extremely difficult. And if you think they did a horrible job with it, that's your opinion. But based on what they were dealing with, I think that is very difficult. But yeah, the ending tied a nice bow onto Go and Soats, and it also left things open for the future with all the stuff with Rika and Satoko basically saying, like, I'll follow you and stuff if I don't hear from you for a long time. And um, them both kind of accepting each other for who they are and learning, like, okay, we need to go our, just because we go our separate ways doesn't make us any less of friends. Um, and I thought that was actually really powerful. And that's something like I personally have found out in my life. I've lived in different parts of the country, and some of my best friends don't live in the state I live in right now. And we don't see each other super often, but when we do communicate and catch up, it's amazing. And it's fun to really still be close with those people. So you don't have to be sitting next to the person you care about 24/7. You want them to grow and become a better person and who they really are. You don't want to stifle their growth or force them into something that they don't really want to do. So I actually I liked the ending. Was it as happy of an ending as it was for Kai? No, but I don't think realistically you could have ended it happily or much happier than they did without like erasing people's memories or something like that. Because Rika was going to remember what happened. You were either going to have to kill off Satoko or erase memories. And I honestly like what they did. Would I have liked them to take the story in different directions before that point? Sure. But I was content with how they ended it, and I do kind of see it as happy, but more bittersweet. What are my feelings overall for Go and Soaps? I'm very conflicted for both of these. I would have probably not gotten into Higurashi ever, or maybe not for years, if not for Go, because Go came out and I started researching stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll just watch Go, because it was supposed to be a remake. Learned that it wasn't a remake, and then I went all the way through the original Higurashi and absolutely loved it. And honestly, it's one of my favorite. The When They Cry franchise is like one of my favorite for anything now, and I'm doing my Umineko playthrough. It honestly, I feel like Go and Soats, they were. This is not a great way to word it, but they're almost like a gateway drug into the When They Cry universe. And are they as good as the original? No. Because they exist, it brought a lot of other people into this amazing world. And I'm super thankful that they did this. And yeah, I think if I'm looking at it from that perspective, I rate this series, both the series, super high. But if I'm looking at it from an actual story perspective, it was okay. There was a bit too much repetition, and I've talked to a lot of you guys about that before, but some stuff we just didn't need to see. It was too repetitive. And Kai, when they would kind of repeat things that had happened, it was done in a way that still moved the plot forward, and we were still learning so many things. Here, a lot of times we already knew the end result and they were still going over it. And I felt like the actual story that was new in Soats was basically 2 episodes. The beginning of Soats with Reina and stuff, I actually really loved that. I thought that those first 2 episodes were great and probably 2 of the best episodes for Go or Soats. But other than that, there was some of the arcs. I feel like they were, too long. Personally, if you're gonna kind of speed run through stuff. So that's just my opinion. I don't hate it. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not like disappointed that they did it that way. I mean, I am a little bit. I would have liked a new story, but and other people had said this is a good like kind of introduction to Higurashi and Umineko. And if we look at it from that perspective, and I think a lot of what they were trying to do was that, you got to grade it really high. But yeah, the story itself, not amazing, especially when you compare it to the original Higurashi. Now, the future for the When They Cry universe, we obviously know that Syconia, there's still a lot more to be released with that. I have not even touched that. I'm still working on my Umineko playthrough that I'm about halfway done with now. So I still have a ton to go in that. I have over 100 hours in it right now, and I'm like about halfway. So I will get to Syconia at some point. Probably won't be for quite a while though, because I still have a lot left with Umineko. They do have the manga series that a lot of you guys in my comments have been like talking to me about, and it's going to be a separate kind of story from Go, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm going to start researching it. I'm hoping that they're going to have the English translations out like around the same time as Japanese. And if you guys let me know in the comments below, I was thinking about maybe doing like reading it on my channel and doing that as some like When They Cry content. I would actually really like to do that. And if that's something like some of you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments. But I think that would be kind of fun. I haven't really done that with a manga before, but I am doing a visual novel playthrough, which is kind of similar since I am narrating the whole thing. We do have to be prepared for October 4th and 5th because there have been Umineko announcements around that time period. I have my fingers crossed that we get something announced at that time for particularly Umineko, I'm not going to lie. I feel like we are probably going to get something with Umineko. And if we don't, I'm happy that we got Go and Sotsu. It brought me into the When They Cry universe. But us getting basically 40 episodes of Go and Sotsu, which, if we think about it, wasn't like completely necessary for moving Higurashi forward in any way other than bringing new people into the series. And we could not get an Umineko adaptation of any sort that is done well. I think that's a bit of a miss by the 07th expansion. Believe me, I've spent hours and hours on Umineko. I know some people say you would need like at least 80 episodes to do it well. I think that may be a good amount. I do think you could probably do the question arcs. If you 24 is like too few, and they didn't do it well on the original. I've been told I'm probably going to eventually do a reaction series to that if you guys want me to, but I think you could probably do less than 40 if you were really trying to be stingy with it. But it has to be over 30 probably. I think you could still do that well because, again, there is some repetition, and I know how many words are in the story, but some of it is repetitive at points. So I do think that they could do it maybe in a little less than 40 for the questions part. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do see a path that they could do that in less than 40. But there's no way you could do it in 24 well. So I think somewhere in between that sweet spot of 30 and 40 would be great. And if they don't do it, that is just a huge miss. I know that someone in my comments said that whoever the person is that spoiled episode 15 also said that there is some other Higurashi project that's supposed to come out. We'll see. sometimes these people put out spoilers. Also, they get some recognition and then just start making up stuff to get some more clout. But we will see. I wouldn't be surprised if they did anything else. And the big reason why I think that they're going to do probably the Umineko stuff, I feel like they set up us being introduced to Lambda Delta and Burn like so well, especially with the end scenes with Satoko and Rika were just perfection. I actually absolutely loved it. I thought they did that really well. The witch leaving Satoko's body to go look for Rika. Again, I feel like they really set it up to possibly have an Umineko thing. Maybe they just did it to get us into Umineko, the visual novel, but I would not be surprised if they actually had an adaptation. So that's why I'm kind of really believing that. If Ryukishi like sees my, you mean, spin-off idea with Marvel Comics and Star Wars, and he wants to have me help write for that series, I'm available. He can DM me on Twitter anytime or Instagram. I have them linked in my comment in my videos. So yeah, you can have him talk to my publicist or just DM me. I am completely open to write for that. And yeah, guys, overall, like, I'm really happy that I got into When They Cry. The experience with all of you that have been like super supportive to my channel and watching my visual novel playthroughs and just all my stuff. Like I've met a lot of amazing people from doing these videos, and I consider, you know, a lot of you like friends now. So I'm really appreciative that this series did come out, and I really appreciate all of you that stuck along with me for basically a year now doing all of these videos and stuff. And I remember a lot of you since like my first video. So yeah, thanks for that. And I hope that you guys stick around and check out some of my other content. I will be doing more When They Cry stuff. Like I said, doing stuff with the manga. And if they have any other series come out, I will be covering it. Next season, so like next week, I will be starting to cover and doing reactions to Mushoku Tensei and Miruko-chan, which is also by Passion. So and it's kind of like horror-ish, I believe. So be on the lookout for that. And if there's any other series that you guys want me to react to, let me know in the comments. And then obviously I do have like some of my other series that I am doing my reactions to as well. So look out for those. But yeah, guys, thanks for the journey over this year. It's been amazing. Lots of ups and downs, but I loved the journey, and I hope you guys continue on the journey with me.